Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Divine Direction Author Interview Series. I am Benicia Ponder, founder of InspirationalAuthors.com, and I'm excited to bring you this interview series. Divine Direction is a book collaboration project where I brought together 22 amazing individuals to share their own personal stories. And these stories bring hope, healing, breakthrough, and transformation in all areas of life. And today I am super blessed, super excited to introduce to you one of my coaches, someone who has really helped me to experience and manifest abundance in my life, and someone who's been a real source of strength and support for me. So I'm introducing Lady Rayven to you. Lady Rayven, welcome.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. You're one of my favorite people in the world. So this is such an easy yes. This whole project was such an easy yes to work with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am excited because when you did say yes to the project, and I'm full disclosure, when Rayven said yes to joining the project, I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? Like, that was really such a big win for me. And it was because I admire Rayven so much. I've learned so much from her. She's such a giving and just a super amazing person. So I hope I don't cry. But so when she said, yes, I'll be a part of the book project, I was like, okay. Because Rayven was the third person to sign up. And I had this idea that I wanted 20 people in the book. And I was so nervous because I was not anywhere near there. And Rayven was like, yes, I'll be a part of your project. And that gave me the courage, because when someone who you admire signs up, then there's no going back. I could say, well, you know what? It just didn't work. And no, Rayven is like, here you go. She paid. She's like, all right, let me know what the deadlines are. And I was like, oh, I have to do this now.
Yes.
I actually have to do this now. So Rayven not only inspired me, and coaching with Rayven allowed me to even acknowledge that I was going to do this project, but she supported me in it and made it virtually impossible for me not to finish. So thank you for that.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
So tell our community about you, who you are, what you're up to these days.
I am Rayven Monique, and I am a happiness and abundance coach. I live outside of Jacksonville, Florida, on a beautiful 5-acre piece of homesteading paradise. Mm-hmm. My 22-year-old daughter lives next door, and together we've got like animals everywhere, like literally everywhere. There are chickens outside my door as we speak. And online, what my passion is to help people realize the power that they have within themselves to make all of their dreams come true. And interestingly enough, usually the hardest part is just figuring out what those dreams are. Yeah. So that's my big thing is showing people that they have it all within them to make life how they want. And I'm living proof of that. I'm living in my dream home on my dream property. I still like walk around thinking, how did this happen? How do I own a house? How do I own this place? How is this my life? I'm just so excited, and I want to share all of that with everybody. So that's what I do. I help people.
I love that because sometimes, we think about things, we imagine things, but the process of actually getting them is a whole nother story. It's like we do the vision board. We've all seen The Secret, right? We all went through those phases of creating the vision boards and all that kind of stuff. And it's good to see them. It gives you that emotional jolt. But how do you go from seeing it on the vision board or seeing it in your mind to actually being able to touch and feel. You feel the animals, you feel the land. I know you walk outside barefoot all the time. So you feel the land in your toes. You are building, you're actually building what you had in your mind. How did you do that? I know it wasn't just on a vision board. So what were some of the things that you did to get there?
So I love The Secret, and that, like you, that was one of my first introductions into what's termed the law of attraction. It's honestly just the way the world and the universe works. That's literally it. It's just the rules of how things work. And what the Secret did is it exposed us to this idea, but it didn't give us all the details. So in The Secret, it's ask, believe, receive. And I'm still waiting for that guy with the bag of money to show up on my front door. A real handsome one at that, right?
Right?
But I look out there every day and there is not a handsome man with money, because it's missing a couple of steps, and the most important step. So it's not ask, believe, receive. It's ask, believe, feel, act, and receive. And probably the most important one is that whole acting one, right? You have to take action to get the things that you want in life. So it's so important to get a clear vision, whether that's through a vision board or through, just journaling or meditation, or however you're going to come up with what is it that I actually want in life. But it's not about just sticking it up on a vision board and sticking it over your computer. You actually have to take baby steps towards getting those things, because without movement, without this momentum that you're bringing to the table, there's no way that your dreams will do anything but remain dreams. And there's a reason for that. I mean, how often do you think random thoughts? Like, if I tell you to think of a pink elephant, you're going to think of a pink elephant, right?
Yeah.
We don't want that to show up at the door right now. I mean, I'm assuming you don't really want you're like,
I don't want a pink elephant.
No pink elephants. No pink elephants. Right. So there has to be something on our part that says, this is not a random thought. This is really what I want to have happen in my life. And how we state that, how we declare that to God, how we say, this is it, is we start moving towards the goal. And then we catch God's attention. He's like, all right, we're serious about this. Let's make it happen. And doors open and synchronicities happen, and the right people are placed in your path at the right time, and the right opportunities present themselves. And maybe something doesn't even look like an opportunity, but you take steps towards it, and 3 more doors open that never would have opened had you not been willing to take that action in the first place. So that's how you get it. You just keep moving towards it, and things just clear, and they clear unbelievably fast.
Yeah. So 2 questions, well, two things, but the first one is really about that ask, believe order, because often in my life, I found that I have to believe before I can even ask.
Yeah.
How do you get someone to that place where they can even ask or imagine what they want?
Yeah. So a lot of that is, we grew up in a world that has been putting limitations on us since we were children. And a lot of those limitations are things that we made up, beliefs that we made up, limiting beliefs we made up as children in order to navigate the world. We had to understand what was acceptable and unacceptable in society from us in order to function. I mean, that's what we do. We teach our children, we teach them how to brush their teeth, we teach them how to cook a meal, we teach them how to get a job. I mean, that's part of it. But somewhere along the lines, we made up things that weren't true because a situation happened, it caused us stress. Our little bodies didn't want to experience that stress anymore. So it tried to protect us from ever going down that path again by putting barriers in the way. And so what happens is we end up living our lives trying to avoid pain we experienced as a child, emotional pain. And those limiting beliefs actually cloud our entire view of the world. So a lot of that with the asking and the believing is believing that whatever it is that we truly want is possible for us.
Right.
And there's that, the biggest thing that comes up for me when I think about limiting beliefs is this concept of there being not enough, of a person being not enough, of there's not enough to go around, that they're not working hard enough. The not enough, that whole concept is phooey. It's absolute nonsense. And yet most of us have shaped our lives some ways around that. Whether it's, oh, I can't make that much money. I'm not good enough for that. Or this is not, I am not the right person for this opportunity. It happens to other people, all of this stuff. So it's about being aware that those limiting beliefs are running through our heads and being willing to confront them when they do and letting them go, so that we can then believe that these things that we want to create are possible for us. Because I guarantee you, there is nothing you could possibly be dreaming of right now that can't be possible for you.
Yeah. Yeah. My whole thing was always, well, somebody else is doing it, so there's not any room for me. Like, it was like a pie, and somebody had already taken out that piece of the pie. So I couldn't do that too. But I have had some really great experiences with collaboration lately, where people who are doing the same thing or similar things to what I'm doing have asked me to collaborate with them. And a couple of years ago, I worked with a group of self-publishers, asking for their advice. And in those collaboration experiences, even with Divine Direction, although the authors are doing different things, they were still coming together. And I found that collaboration just expands the opportunity. Yes. And it allowed me to see, or let me say, break down some of those beliefs or those blocks that I couldn't have a piece of pie too, like as if the pie was just a finite thing, right? But it's more infinite. Yeah.
It's funny that your pie was finite, and they have slices. I don't have a slice too. Mine was the opposite. Mine was, well, if they figured it out, if they know how to do it, then obviously I can do it too. I'm smart. I can figure it out if they're doing it. And I spent a lot of time with a left brain mentality of, well, obviously there's something to figure out. And, I dumped so much energy into just tell me how to do it. Just give me the step-by-step playbook and I'll do the thing, because they have it. I can have it too. What am I doing wrong? Why isn't it working for me? And it was only when I was willing to let go of doing it right and willing to let go of trying to duplicate what other people had done and really tuned into my right brain, my creativity, and to this concept of, I've got other ways of doing this. I've got taking the time for meditation, taking the time to be centered, taking the time to get clear about what I wanted and rejecting the things that didn't fit with that. That's when it turned for me.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that, because I had forgotten what I was going to ask next. Like Divine Direction, right? But so I was talking about the steps, right? You're talking about taking baby steps.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get caught up, and I'm saying me, so anybody who's listening to this broadcast, I'm sure that you can relate to, but getting caught up in that, taking the steps, like I have to know A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the steps before I even take the first one.
Right.
And I have to have them in a specific order. Like you said, if someone else has done it, then I need to do it like they did, because obviously they know the way. How do you not get caught up in that? How did you avoid getting caught up in that?
Oh, I used to. I mean, I used to do it. But I've learned that there's only 2 steps you need to know. And that's the last step, the end goal. Like, where are you going? And the very next step. Because what I learned through trial and error along the way is if I do map out all the steps, by the time I'm 2 or 3 steps in, everything's changed, right? So I've made decisions that aren't the same as other people. Therefore, what I'm looking at on my side of things doesn't look like what they're looking at. It's a different market. It's a different time. It's a different tool, whatever. So I've had to alter things. So if steps 3 is suddenly changed, step 17 it doesn't exist anymore. So it was completely pointless to try to map the whole thing out. All I needed to know is where I'm ending up and just start taking the very next step. Because with each new step that I take, more doors open, more choices open, more opportunities, more synchronicities, more people come into my life. So all I have to do is just keep moving and it'll all fall into place. And it does every time. Even when I think, oh my God, it's not going to do it this time, because I'm a human being. I have those moments too. And then I'm like, nope, remember, all we have to do is take a deep breath, trust, and take the next step. That's it.
Yes. Yes. I like that. That gives me a little bit of comfort. You don't have to always figure it all out from the beginning. As a control freak and a recovering, I have to have it my way kind of person. And sometimes I get freaked out when step 45 is step 45. I'm on step 0.5 at the time. And I'm like, step 45, how is that going to work? But I haven't even taken all of the first step yet. So that letting go and just focusing on the step that I'm on has helped me to move forward, and just giving myself some ability to play around with step 1 and not worry about 45 right now. Because like you said, 45 will be not there. Yeah. It'll be a whole different step. Yeah, absolutely. So you are on a 5-acre homestead dream property, your dream property. What are you doing out there? Because now you know the animals are not my thing. But,
I know.
But I get excited every time I hear you talk about that property, because it just reminds me, hey, it's possible. Whatever the dream is, however it shows up, it's going to show up in the right way at the right time, and you're going to have everything you need to make it happen. So I like hearing that story. But tell us what you're doing out there on your dream property.
I am doing all the things. I tell you, this has always been where I wanted to be. And I've known for a long time that I've wanted to help people take those steps to living their dreams. And honestly, I didn't know how it was all going to come together. Like, right. I was in online marketing. I currently do have a private label rights business that's doing its thing. And I'm not as interested in pursuing it as I once was, because all of the things that I would do as a hobby, I would go out and learn meditation. I would go out and, learn how to throw vision board parties. I would go out and expand my knowledge and my skills and my coaching skills and all of these things that I'm like, I don't know where this is going to fit in quite yet. Definitely not to what I'm doing over here. But I know that I'm on this path. I'm on this journey. I'm taking baby steps to an unknown dream. And then one day it all came together. And all of those little bits and pieces of a puzzle that I didn't even know was a puzzle came together. And what I'm creating out here now is I have the animals. I have chickens. I have rabbits. I have bees. I have a dog and cats, and a horse is coming in 2 weeks. And next month, a dairy cow is coming somehow. I'm not sure how that's all going to work out, but apparently it is. But I've also been creating this container, this beautiful place where people, where my clients and the people I work with can come here and stay on this farm and learn more about who it is that they are and what it is that they want in life. And one of the ways that I'm doing that is with plant medicine. And it's something that allowed me to go from, I believe all of these things, I'm seeing them show up in my life, to I absolutely know what life is about. I have spoken to God directly. I get it now. And at such a level that my life was completely changed. And so I'm using that and helping people experience their changing of life and their understanding of their world and how to navigate it. So I've put up, we've got tiny house. We've got these beautiful yurts with beds inside. I've got a fire pit in this gorgeous hall of mirrors. I have got I've got like 18 4-foot tall mirrors, like stacked against fences that you can walk down and see yourself on a level I guarantee you've never done before. So I've created this beautiful place to bring it all together, and it's fantastic, and it's truly something special.
I love it. I experienced a retreat with you, not so rustic It was,
Yeah.
it was pretty luxurious, but that experience helped me so much because it was the different practices, the yoga, the meditation, the sessions where we were able to do the generative knowledge type of work and really going through. And all those together allowed me, and I'll say the other participants who were on that retreat, to transcend some of those things that we had, some of those limiting beliefs. I think I remember before, I think this was before we did the retreat, you had us write our limiting beliefs on toilet paper. And it sounds so crazy, but that act of doing that, and I actually flushed mine down the toilet. I was like, I'm flushing that shit away. Like,
get rid of it. Get rid of it.
Because that's what it is, and it really is the stuff that stops us.
Right.
And in order for us to be able to do that, there are different tools. I love that you're using different tools to help people transcend, because sometimes in our everyday headspace, we just get so caught up in what is right now, and it's hard to even see anything. So we need tools to be able to take us beyond where we are, like you said, to be able to actually talk to God, to understand that, because I believe that God's spirit is in us, like always with us, but sometimes it's hard to access because we're always in our minds. And to have something to take that wall or that barrier away is such a good thing. So although I don't totally understand plant medicine.
All right. That's all right.
But I love what you're doing. I love the fact that what you're doing is helping people to remove those barriers and those limitations to truly be who they are. You've done that with me. You're still doing that with me. It's a process.
It's a process.
But I love that. And if anyone gets half of what I've already gotten by coaching with you, then their lives are going to be forever changed. So, oh gosh, I don't even know what I want to ask next. It's just I just get, I don't know, I get excited about this because that's my heart, is to help people to really be able to be who they are. And even when I have not been able to do that myself, sometimes it's always I always get excited when I see others be able to share and shine their lights in this world and do it from an authentic place. I think that's why I'm so enamored and attracted to what you do, because I see that light in you. I see that you're doing this from a true, authentic space, and you're not copying anybody else. You are doing this your way.
That is true.
That is so, you're like, hey, I'm doing it this way. And if you don't like it, okay, that's not for you then, And I just love that. I love that. And I want everyone to be in that space. And I think that if we get to that space, we'll realize that there's no need for division or drama or any of that. I love your chapter in Divine Direction, specifically because it talks to, I'm going to use the word transcend again. That word's just in my mind. But going to being more of who you are from the inside out, as opposed to reacting to situations, as opposed to just doing what you've always done because you've always done it, but really getting to a place where you're like, well, how do I really want to show up? How do I really want to be? And then embracing that. And so talk to us about that, because I want to hear more from you. So talk to us about showing up as who you want to really be.
Well, in the book, I mentioned an episode in my life where I suddenly had this blinding realization that I wasn't having the impact on those around me that I wanted to have. And and I don't think before that, I don't think I knew it, you know, I mean, I knew I was out of control. I had a temper. I wasn't the easiest person to get along with all the time, but something just shifted and I realized this is not me. Yeah. This is not who I am. This is not what I want to be. And I think many of us have had times in our lives where maybe we were out of control. Maybe we got into some trouble, whether it was legal or, you know, in relationships or money or drugs or whatever it was. And there was this sense of, that's not me. I don't even know why I did that. That's not who I am. And I firmly believe that God will show us who we're not in order for us to understand who it is that we really are. You know, without darkness, we don't understand what light is. Yeah. So in order to transcend, in order to become who it is that we know ourselves to be, we have to see and experience what we are not. And so that was my story in that book, is that I suddenly realized this is not who I am. This is not the impact I want to be having. Who am I? What do I want to do? And how do I get there? And it started with me from just observing, just noticing this is how I'm reacting. These are the triggers that I'm having. Why is that happening? Why is this a trigger? What am I making up in my head that this situation means about me? Is that true? And I just went through this almost an identity crisis, if you will. Yeah. Just learning who I wanted to be. And then I got help. You know, I found radical leadership, which changed my life on so many levels, so much so that I went back and I became a certified coach with the program. And I started reading all of the self-help books. I started being open to things and concepts that I never had been before, because I knew that what I was doing wasn't working and I didn't want more of that. So I had to find something that would work for me. And I did. I explored everything. I went through like 4 or 5 different types of meditation before I found the one meditation that was going to work for me. And one style of meditation. I went through, I mean, I've done all the vision boards and the visualizations, and some of them are great for me and some of them just don't. And that's okay. I know how to do them now. And you know, so much of this is just, it's not just growth, it's life. It's exciting. You know, every day I get to wake up and choose what it is that I want and who it is that I want to be. And I just move towards that. And it's freaking fun. It is so much fun to know that I have the power to control my own destiny. And that doesn't mean that everything's always rainbows and sunshine, you know, that's not what it is. And I'm still uncomfortable sometimes, and I stick my foot in it sometimes, and I have disastrous days sometimes, but I know that those are just temporary and they mean something towards the bigger picture of what it is that I'm trying to do. So it all works out in the end.
It all works out at the end. I love we've been playing around with the word experiment. And I love the fact that that's what you're doing. You're not caught up in you know what you want, but you're not caught up in the route that you take to get there.
Yes.
And so I like that. I like the freedom and the flexibility and the joy, honestly, that gives you, because each day can be an adventure. Each day can be something when you wake up and something goes wrong. Like, oh, okay. You know, I can just see you doing that. Oh, okay. I see that. Well, how are we going to do something? You know, I can just see you saying that, like, oh, that's nice kind of thing. And I aspire to do that in sometimes. I can in some ways, but I just know that that's where fulfillment and joy comes, when you're not so attached to the how.
Oh, yes.
You're really just flowing. And I see that tied so much with abundance, because that attachment to the how feels like lack to me.
Right.
It feels like there's only one way to do it. And flexibility shows that there's an abundance of ways. There are an infinite number of ways in which we can get to what we desire. And God will arrange those circumstances, even if we go in a way that he's like, oh, that's not how I wanted you to go. He'll be like, okay, but I'll make it work.
Exactly. I just imagine him up there laughing, Like,
Exactly.
that's what we're doing now. Oh, I mean, okay, if this is what you want to do, you are weird. This would have been so much easier this other way, but if you are attached to going this way, it's just going to take longer.
You'll take the scenic route. I'm for it. Yes, absolutely. So I know that you signed up for Divine Devotion because you were supporting me.
Mm-hmm.
But what was your experience like in sharing your story?
Oh, this whole process was just so much fun. I didn't even know. I'm like, Benicia, here, I'm like, here, I'm signing up. I paid. I'm like, what's a devotional? It's like, I say yes. And then I'm like, okay, now I have to do the thing. What is the thing? It was such a smooth and easy process. You made the whole thing simple, right? There wasn't any overthinking I had to do. There wasn't any hoops I had to jump through. You made it so easy. You're like, here's this, do this with it, check this box, dot this I, and I'm like, I can do that. So the whole process was effortless. It really was. And you made that happen because you're awesome.
Thank you. I agree. And I accept that. And I know that I am awesome because I have people like you who are pouring into me on a regular basis. And I know that the Divine Direction Project is awesome again because of the co-authors who contributed. Like I said, all of the stories are, and I mentioned this probably on a number of interviews. So if you're following this author interview series, you've heard me say this, but hear it again. These authors have come together to really make something special. They're all stories from all different walks of life, all different types of experiences. But that piece that just puts it all together, that, they fit together into a beautiful puzzle, if you will. I'm using your analogy of the puzzle, but they fit together in this beautiful picture of hope, of healing, of breakthrough, transformation, showing how our lives are just so amazing when we just let go of trying to do it our way all the time and trying to navigate ourselves. When we allow what's inside of us to flow and to come out, God works it out. And I love that. So Rayven, as we wrap up, are there any final words you want to leave with our community?
You were just talking about the whole concept of, not being so attached to how things go. And it's not our job to know the way. That's God's job. Yeah. It's our job to ask and to trust. So yeah, leave the rest into a power that can make it happen.
Yes. I read something this morning. That was one of my meditation readings. Like, I will not try to do your job today, God.
Yes. Yes.
So yes, I have to recognize that because sometimes we can't take them.
Yeah. So.
Well, thank you, Rayven, so much for being here, being a part of the book project, being a part of this author series. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your light with the world. And for those of you who are checking out this interview, I encourage you, if you have not done so already, go and get a copy of Divine Direction. And if you already have a copy, get one for a friend. You already know the power of the stories that are shared within this book. So share that with others. I also encourage you to go over to inspirationaldevotionals.com. You can do a number of things there. You can buy the book, you can meet our authors, and you can also apply for our upcoming Inspirational Devotionals book collaboration project. So go over to inspirationaldevotionals.com to check that out. Thank you so much for joining us. I am excited about what we are doing together, and I encourage you to step out and share your stories with the world, because remember this, you are indeed the light of the world, and it's time for you to let your light shine. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, now I gotta find the button again.
Bottom, middle, towards the middle, the bottom.
I know, and it's like I have to like hover over. Here we go. Because if I don't do it the right way, it'll leave me. And now I gotta say, yes, that's right.